brothers and sisters. I've extracted a part of my testimony. I really felt this needed a video of its own because the subject matter is very, very important, extremely important, really, and it's to do with a personal experience that I had, and I've been find myself very connected to this particular passage, um, and it was a dual event that happened in 2005, 2007. In that time frame, a lot of spiritual activity was going on. And on one particular night, I heard there was a presence in the room, and I heard the voice Michael and Michael, and I was really taken back by this. It was a really quite a very surreal experience to go through, believe me. And the following morning, I woke up and I opened the Bible accidentally to Daniel 12, and it was just completely by accident. And I was reading Daniel 12 where it speaks about Michael the Prince will arise. So anyway, I want to talk a bit more about that in a moment. But anyway, I went through several years of an awakening process, which really, I was just there learning, studying, and keeping myself to myself. And I was given further revelation of what this Daniel 12 was in 2018, and it's to do with the awakening. I was shown that this awakening that many of us are going through is actually the awakening that is spoken of and foretold in the book of Daniel. But also, I was also shown the remainder of that particular verse in verse 2, and I wanted to share that with you now. Talk a little bit about the revelation that the Father has given me, because there's a reason for all things. Like we were told, the end was wrote from the beginning, so there is no surprises. And in Daniel 12, verse 2, we read, "Many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth, which is the earth, shall awake." And this is the awakening I was speaking of. It's talking about a spiritual awakening. Now it says, "Some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt." Now the Father gave me an incredible revelation regarding what this is speaking of. And then it says in verse 3 there, it said, "Those who are wise shall shine as the brightness of the expanse, and those who turn many to righteousness as stars forever and ever." And I've always wondered about what these passages meant. And I felt a special connection to these verses because they're speaking of the time of the end. Now, this is what the Father revealed. It says, "Some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt." I want to show you what I was shown in 2nd Baruch, and it is in response to a prayer that Baruch had with the Most High. And we read there in verse 29, it said, "For this is as follows, he that is corrupted is not alone. He has both wrought iniquity so far as lie could do anything, and has not remembered my goodness, nor accepted my long suffering. Therefore you shall surely be taken up, as I before told you." And this is the kapasa, or the calling up, the rapture many people speak of. But there is going to be a time where they will be called up to meet the Lord in the air. And here's Baruch. He is going to be awoken. And this is talking about the time of the end. And it says in verse 31 there we read, "For that time shall arise which brings affliction." Well, the word there is sarah, which is distress or trouble or tribulation. So it's talking about the final end times. It says, "For it shall come and pass by with quick vehemence," right? "And it shall be turbulent, coming in the heat of indignation. And it shall come to pass in those days that all the inhabitants of the earth shall be moved one against another." And this is what we're seeing at the moment. This is why the wise is going to understand what's happening, because we have nation rising against nation. Everyone is rising against everyone in all walks of life. But this is what's going to happen, brothers and sisters. And here's the reason. It says, "Because they know not that my judgment has drawn nigh." And you've got to ask yourself, the end was wrote from the beginning. So everything that is happening in the world is happening for a reason. And we read there in verse 33, "For there shall not be found many wise at that time." Now remember, I told you in Daniel 12 He says, in verse 3, he said, those who are wise shall shine as the brightness of the expanse, right? But we read in the end times, there's not going to be many wise found in the earth. And we read there, and the intelligent shall be but a few. Moreover, even those who know shall most of all be silent. Now, I said in my testimony, there's a reason I have come to bear witness and bear testimony to the Most High and to Yeshua. It's because we are at that time, and I've been shown that. And I am bearing witness and testimony that this book of Baruch is speaking about us, about our generation. And we read on there, in verse 34, and there shall be many rumors and tidings, not a few. And the doing of phantasms shall be manifested. So we're seeing a lot of supernatural things occurring in the world as well. And promises, not a few, be recounted, right? Some of them shall prove idle. And here's the passages that the Lord shown to me. And this is directly relating to Daniel 12. It says, and those who turn many to righteousness as stars forever. But we read just in the verse above it, it says, many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame, and some to everlasting contempt. Now let's read what Baruch says. And some of them shall be confirmed, some to everlasting life, confirmed. And honor shall be turned into shame, and some to shame. Now think about this honor that he's referring to. Many people have taken to online to speak about these end times. And there will be many false teachers. And many people have been honored. But it says that their honor will be turned to shame. Because they missed something very important. They were not wise. They did not acknowledge or realize. They know not that my judgment has drawn nigh. Okay? And then what do we read there? It says, and strength humiliated into contempt, and everlasting contempt. These are the passages that are speaking of our generation. And probity destroyed, and beauty shall become useless. So you see, the end was already wrote from the beginning. There are no surprises. You know, this awakening has already been foretold. That is why there is an awakening. And the Father and the realm, the heavenly realm, is giving mankind an opportunity to awaken, to question, to have intelligence, to seek understanding, to seek wisdom, but come to the Creator. Or you can be stuck in this world and believe the lies that we've been told for many, many decades since the beginning. So anyway, books such as Enoch, Jude confirms Enoch is the truth. Enoch has really revealed so many things in this time, and the book was for the generation in the end. The Dead Sea Scrolls confirms that these books are written even before, over thousands of years, and possibly even Enoch is being written even longer than that. It said many will be called, but only a few are chosen. So I think it's crucial right now we do wake up and we really start to seek the truth. And the truth is that judgment has come upon the earth. We are now in the time of the end. And I hope that this will be a blessing. I want to share a book that arrived to my home. I ordered many years ago. And I'll just share those and some screenshots. So pause the video if you want to have a look at those and read the screenshots. And thank you for joining me.